Message and prophecy to the nation Nigeria and the good citizens of Nigeria who love good against evil. Listen and listen carefully. God will not force down your throats to give you what you don't want or what you reject, most especially when that thing is not from Him. But a man can manipulate the will and plans of God to change it, but at the end of the day God always have plan B to whatever He is doing or going or has planned to do. One thing you will know and understand, everyone who is listening to this message: God doesn't make mistakes by choosing two leaders to rule a nation, but when a man goes against the will of God, there is always a price and a consequences to every actions a man displayed to or against the will of God, whether they are good or evil. A man will reap whatever he sown from his actions. A man can manipulate the will of God to get what he wants, but one thing for sure, the will of God will always come to pass at the end of the day, because everything listen to the voice of God to do the will of God. When man fail or work against the will of God, he always stand alone to bear the consequences. Nigerians, listen and listen carefully. You will face again another time of serious hardship for a while because a man just violated the will and plans of God for the nation, but at the end of the day the man who violated the will and plans of God for the people pays dearly for his actions. A man can buy anything with his money to get what he wants, but the thing a man buys that God is not part of will always crash. According to me, God has prepared and assigned a mighty angel to take out the man who will and has violated his will and plans for the people. This statement is not just a joke. This statement is what I have seen and heard by the Spirit, and it will not be long before it manifests. Also, the past administration has set a trap for the present administration, because as I speak to you Nigerians, I saw by the Spirit of God the treasury of Nigeria is empty. When I say empty, I mean empty. The past administration has liquidated Nigeria's resources and sent it to other nation around Nigeria where he truly came from and belong. Also empty Nigeria's treasury to benefit a nation where he truly belong. Nigeria will be the one to suffer for a while again because of this actions. The present administration will do everything to correct the errors of the past administration, but at the end of the day the labor of the present administration will be in vain because it will not last in power. God will use the present administration to pay for the sins and errors of the past administration, to work and labor down for the new Nigeria. Nigerians, listen and listen carefully. One thing that makes me say the present administration has fallen into a trap set by the past administration is that the present administration cannot come out to say the government is suffering and the treasury of Nigeria is empty, because the past administration and the present administration are of the same party. Buhari has used this present administration to escape after finishing Nigeria, and put the present administration in massive debts and suffering. They cannot come out boldly to say it. Rather, they will do everything to correct the errors of Buhari's administration. Mark my word, everyone who is listening to this message, suffering and hardship will increase drastically in Nigeria because the present administration will do everything in secrets to try and correct the errors and mistakes of the past administration without letting the public know what the past administration has done to the treasury and resources of the nation. But when the pressure becomes too much, they will stylishly and shamefully come out to say it, but Nigeria and Nigerians will not listen, because Nigerians will feel the present administration is lying and looking for a cover-up because they cannot make the nation work. So I want to say to you all Nigerians, be still and know that God is with you and not against you. Don't let anyone deceive you that God has abandoned Nigeria. God will use the mistakes and errors of this present administration to bring to pass a new Nigeria. Don't blame any man of God who prophesy or say what God has shown them. It is possible a man can break and manipulate the will and plans of God to get what he wants, but it is not possible to get away with it. Whoever go against the will of God always have a price to pay for it. This present administration will work and suffer so hard to make things work, but at the end of the day the labor will be in vain and will not last long before a new government rose to power. Nigeria, listen and listen carefully. I hate to sound as if I am speaking for a particular party, but I want to say to the leader of the Labour Party, rejoice because God will use the present administration to work so hard to correct the errors of the past administration. After then God will take them out to bring his chosen leader for a new Nigeria. Rejoice also you didn't fall into the trap of the past administration, because as I speak to you the present administration is in a huge trap of the past administration that they cannot come out boldly to say, but they will work so hard to make things right, but their working will be for a short while because it won't last. Mark my word. Nigerians, God is with you and his will and plans for the nation will always come to pass. God has started working his plan B to bring to pass his will for the nation Nigeria. Be still, Nigerians, I say, and know God is on your side. My name is Prophet Joseph, son of light. I'm the voice calling out of Africa, preparing the way for the Lord Jesus returns. Jesus Christ is King and Lord forever.